Welcome to the very first episode of 3Bs on a Mission. We're three women here to speak our unfiltered truth and share divine feminine wisdom to challenge systems, to heal wounds, and to light the way forward.
With grit, laughter, and a touch of witchy fire, we use our spiritually gifted voices to reveal how to reclaim your inner power and raise into the calling you were always meant to embody.
And we won't be holding back. We'll tell you our stories the way we really are, raw, honest, and aligned with the mission we have been called to.
What mission that is, we don't know. We're called here.
We want to take a moment to introduce ourselves so you know who we are and why we're on this mission together. So I'll jump in first. I'm Wendy. I'm an awakened, high vibe, divine feminine, embodying my Empress High Priestess energy, and I'm a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community. And as such, my journey has all been about breaking free and healing from systems that incite fear and condemnation. The pain and suffering that I've experienced throughout my life has made me into a master alchemist. And that's somebody who can transmute pain and trauma into love and power rather than becoming hardened and ensnared by it. My spiritual transformation has broken generational curses and has aligned me with my life's purpose, to share my story and my heart and the wisdom that I've gained through this process to help encourage others to awaken and heal themselves. I'm a warrior called to shine truth into illusion and give voice where silence has reigned. So, freedom within us can be remembered. I carried a belief for decades that I had to choose between faith and authenticity, that being gay made me less in God's eyes, that freedom finally came for me the moment I stopped asking for permission to exist as my authentic self, when I stopped shrinking myself to be worthy of love and acceptance, and when I learned how to pour that love back into me. I'm divine, healed, and woke, and equipped with spiritual gifts to help heal a broken world. The truth is, my queerness is sacred. My love is light, and my existence is proof that the divine can't be boxed in by man-made rules. I don't just live in my truth. I send it out into the world every damn day, because when you live your truth, you help set others free. And that's what I'm here to do. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to my little sis.
That'd be me. Hey, I'm G. I'm healed. I would say we're healing. I can't say I'm all the way healed because my gifts are yet to be unlocked. But I'm definitely awakened. I'm high vibrational, also divine feminine. I'm embracing my Queen of Swords energy right now. I spent my childhood unprotected in a darkness that no child should ever know. I became a mother at 16, which forced me to grow up quickly and learn how to protect not only myself, but my children as well, while swimming in gutter monkey energy. My unfiltered
And we're going to
truth-
get to what that means.
Yeah, we are. My unfiltered truth, I thought fighting all that darkness alone would make me a stronger person, but it only brought more darkness to my life. About 3 years ago, everything changed for me. I woke up to a journey I wasn't even aware I signed up for. A journey that the internet and unawakened people love to romanticize. The truth is, it's a gut-wrenching, confusing, and misunderstood journey to find yourself. It is the twin flame journey. I'm here to share my experiences along this personal journey to help others who woke up one day on this same path. I'm not going to bring the fluff. That's not who I am. I'm going to be raw and uncensored about the courage it takes to change that gutter monkey energy into the light within you. I'm more like the janitor here. Like, if you're ready to say, clean up aisle 2, I'll help you walk through the transformation.
My name is Missy, and I am 52 years old.
Young.
Young, very young.
Yeah, young.
I have known these two women for maybe, how old is Liv?
She's 12.
She's 12 years
So
and
I've
going
probably
on
known you
forever.
15 years
Oh, yes.
because I knew
That's
you
right. Yep.
before Livy.
Yes, indeed. Those times we don't really talk about. It's not
Yeah,
worth it.
we will.
But
Don't
anyways,
worry. We will.
I am on this journey. I'm not sure where it's going to take me, but I am here with two people who I'm sure will help me out in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I'll kind of step in for you for a minute. Like Missy is our unicorn. She is
100%.
brings the rainbows, the positivity, the sunshine to all of us. The magic,
I mean, that's kind.
sprinkle of magic.
She has to fly around with me because dragon bitch.
Me and my dragon friend. Me and my
Yeah,
dragon
you
gal friend are
definitely-
right here.
You definitely embody the spirit of the dragon for sure. And did she tell you that my
Cheers.
spirit animal is the otter?
You can get on my back or G's back.
Perfect.
We got
I'm like
you.
this harmless little.
Yeah.
River
And I'm here
otter.
firing and breathing fire, or it may be coming from my eyes. We're not entirely sure.
Yep.
Just burning everything to the ground.
I love
Great.
that.
I love it here.
Anything else that you want to tell us about yourself, Tolly? What do you do in life?
I've been doing hair for 33 years. So technically, I am a therapist. I just don't get paid therapist wages,
Damn girl.
but I do love my job, or
That's
else I wouldn't be
correct.
doing it for this long. I'm lucky that I have such a connection with so
Yep.
many people every day. And I hope that I will have a connection with everybody listening to this.
I'm sure you will. They're going to love you. Okay. So for our first come up, we're going to talk about the kingdom within and how do you awaken. All right. So for most of us, we grew up in religious systems that taught us to look outside of ourselves for the source. The source can be God, creator, spirit, however that you identify with that. And it's always about appeasing this angry, jealous God in the sky, that we are somehow sinful and disconnected from God because of our sin. And, there's the bringing of sacrifices through high priests and those anointed of God to atone for our sins. So that's how most of us grew up. All right. And then Jesus arrives on the scene and he starts to introduce this idea of the kingdom within. He's the first
And
to kind
Jesus
of
was
come.
hanging out with cool people. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So which
Jesus
is
had the best and most diverse friends.
exactly. And they didn't look like high priests and religious people. Matter of fact,
Nope.
he didn't even vibe with those folks. They were just normal, everyday sinners,
Yep.
that probably look like most of our friend groups that we roll with. So he
Except
comes in
if
and
they're
he flips
energy suckers. Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for
So
him.
he comes in and he flips the script and he starts talking about alignment from the source within. And he starts living and moving through his life as a spiritual being that had everything he needed inside of him. And what he was showing was that you don't need to look to the sky to appease an angry God. You have everything inside of you as the spirit being. The kingdom is already within you. And it was an invitation to awaken and recognize the divine inside of us, that the kingdom of God is actually within you, and you're a child of God who has been given the same access to God as Jesus had. So beyond fear of, having to appease this angry being in the sky and to start
but homie
living
was
now.
in 4D. He was definitely low-key 4D. Like, he was full
Exactly.
alignment. So that's why
Exactly. And so
we don't feel that way.
exactly. So he became the embodiment and the example of what we all should have, right? Okay, so real talk. So why is this important? At the end of the day, we're just spirit beings, just like he was, created by the source, walking around in these meat muggle suits. I mean, that's technically what we are. And so the question then is, why don't we feel divinely connected innately? Why don't we feel like spirit beings, living in this illusion of, as Wendy or as G or as Tolly? And the answer is the systems and our mind. So from a really young age, we're taught to use our brains to understand, rationalize, interpret our thoughts, our environment, our relationships with each other, with the source, to figure out our futures and our purpose, and on and on and on, right? So we engage our brains from the time that we're babies. And then we go on to school systems, right? So then school systems further develop our brains and our intellect. And then some of us go on to even higher levels of brain development and advanced degrees in education and achievements. Our brains, by the time that we become young adults, our brains are adequately worked out. They're mature, they're evolved, and they're thriving in most cases, or at least for most of us. But what about maybe not you, Tony? I don't know. I mean, some of us
I
are a
need a
little
little
slower
help
on the
there.
uptick. My point is that we've invested all of this into our brains, but what about our hearts and our spirits? Where was the heart training and education? Where was the advanced degree of heart education? The understanding of what our heart and our spirit does and what it doesn't do, and how it works, and how it aligns us, and how it moves us through life, and how to show us our inner spirit person and what we came equipped to do and our purpose. And the answer
They're not going to
is
show you that. They're not going to show you that. They're going to install fear, depression, societal
They're going
like
to follow the same, what do I want to say, like the same.
suppression. You can't be aligned, because once you're aligned, then you know what you
then
are.
right, and then you're harder to control. That's why
Mhm.
there's such an emphasis on all of this brain work and not of the heart space and the spirit space. Okay,
Mhm.
so now we're adults, and the problem is that the brain has now become this bossy motherfucker. Okay, and as it should be, because it's
Bossy
been taught
bitch.
to be. We've poured everything into our
I'm
brains.
fine.
We made it be the monster that it is. So the brain walks around with this big D energy, you know what I mean? And it's like, nah,
Ooh,
like,
big D. Ooh.
I understand all of this. I'll give you an example. We all have our jobs. I've been in marketing my whole career. When I'm on the job, I bring my brain. That's what's expected of me. It plans, it strategizes. We look at metrics, audiences, we develop campaigns. It's all a brain thing. Can you imagine if I brought my heart to work and tried to do that work? And some of us do bring our heart to work. I think, Tully, that's what you do. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
there are some careers that actually align with the heart space better than the brain. That has not been my case. I know, G, that's not your case either. They would think we were
No, I just bring
fucking
the big D
crazy.
energy.
Yeah. They would think we were
I
nuts
just
if we
bring the
started
heart
showing up with
space
our feels.
energy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
I
But
can't
okay,
show
so
up with my feels. Lights will start flickering.
Right.
yeah. So the brain does its thing and it has its place. That's kind of my point. But then,
Mhm.
okay, let's say you're not in those spaces and it comes to heart issues. You start to think about things like love or the purpose for your life, or what really lights you up and what inspires you, and you start to get into your feels a little bit. And then what happens? Your brain shows up, your heart starts to engage, and you start to feel into this energy. But then the brain shows up and it's like, hey, listen, I heard that you were down here thinking about love. Okay, so what I've done is I've brought a checklist. See this checklist here? We're going to start to look at, these are all the things that have to be right before we can even consider any of this.
Right.
And so, because the heart's a more gentle space, the heart starts to take a back seat and it starts to go, yeah, I guess I didn't see it that way. And so then the brain, doing the most in this space that it shouldn't even be in, starts to do this overthinking about everything. It's like I got this. And really, they have no business in this space. The heart is the OG of these things. And so instead of taking a stance and telling the brain, get the fuck back up to the penthouse and stay up there where you belong, this is my space, that takes some time to untrain that in us, because the
Mhm.
brain has been trained that it's everything. It's everything. And so,
That'll
but
get you
here's
in
the
trouble.
truth.
Right.
Your brain can never understand matters of the heart and the spirit. It's not logical. If you're trying to use your brain to understand things like love and the divinity and your spirit person and your spiritual gifts or your life's purpose, you're misled, plain and simple. Your
Yeah.
brain,
So it's not a belief. Your brain will try to follow a belief, but when
correct.
that's spiritual. That's soul. That's not brain.
Exactly.
That's not I believe it. This is I know. You don't know how you know. You just know.
That's correct.
Your gut.
Because, like you're saying, the brain thinks, it decides, it plans, but the heart feels and it listens and it surrenders. And so you're right. There's an inner knowing that happens. It happens here and it doesn't happen here. And if you're trying to understand these things from the brain space, it's never going to work. It's not going to align. It wasn't supposed to, because you can't awaken from the mind. This is a heart spirit awakening. This is a remembering of and what you are. Your heart and spirit already holds these answers in the kingdom within. Like, you were preloaded. You were preloaded with all of the answers to your purpose, your desires, your love, your everything, your alignment, everything. It was already downloaded in you and was sent in your meat suit, in your spirit person, in your meat suit, down to earth. And now it's about you being in touch with that and remembering. And so the cool thing is, unlike your brain, your heart doesn't need to be taught. It doesn't need to be taught how to love. It is love. It doesn't need to be taught who you are or what your purpose is or what your giftings are. They're already within you, waiting to be awakened and listened to. Your heart is waiting to teach you, to show you, to unlock your deepest desires. These come from the heart, not from the mind. And I'm not saying that there should always be a balance between your mind and your heart, because when they learn to work in perfect harmony, they meet in the middle. And so where's the middle? Okay, your heart's here, your brain is here. When they meet in the middle, guess what? It comes out of your mouth. And so what happens is that you start to be able to speak truth about what you know, who you are. Your giftings start to awaken, and some of those are about speaking. You start to, like you were saying, G, become dangerous. You start to become uncontrollable because now you stand in a power.
Yep.
Um,
I was
Wait.
I was in hermit mode for what, 2 years? I knew what I knew, but I'm not sharing that. I didn't know. I know what I know, and I'm just gonna be over here with that. And I'm telling you, once you wake up,
right. You become a different person. And that's what happens, is that your whole reality shifts. And so when there's this harmony between your brain and your heart, they can actually sit at the same table, knowing their roles, and there's this beautiful flow in your life. So you start to understand when I engage my brain for things, because there is a time and a place. And then you also learn how to sit in your heart space to be able to understand that are spiritual things, and this intuition that's in us, that we aren't equipped a lot of times to listen. So it's when you start to be able to do that, it changes the narrative of everything. But listen, I will tell you this, and I actually have seen this in my mind's eye. Spirit allowed me to see this one day, and it was like so overwhelming. It was beautiful. It's like they wait for people to awaken. They wait for people to remember who they are, because when they do, it's like a celebration that happens. Why? Because you're one more soul that's on this planet that is here for a purpose, for healing humanity and furthering the mission of, that healing. And when you awaken and you understand what's illusion and what's actual and what's real, you become a very powerful force in this world to be able to become the change that we're all looking for. And so that's dangerous. That's dangerous to the systems. They want you to know that stuff.
See, I'm still on the, I think you just awaken when you awaken. Like, I don't know if our soul contracts we sign, hey, wake me up at this day at this time. I don't know. But I
Yes.
love that you're like, ooh, I'm gonna awaken people, where I'm the opposite. I'm just like, if you want to sleep, go ahead and sleep and just stay the hell over there. So
See, but
I don't know.
I think I agree with you. I think that there are contracts. I do think that we have agreements. There's all kinds of contracts that some of us end up on. Yeah. So I'm not new to this. Apparently this is my 7th lifetime doing these things. I don't even know why I sign up for some of the things that I do, but that's
Just
my
skipping
understanding.
down the
And
grocery aisle, and at Source, just skipping down the grocery aisle. I'll take a little this trauma, that trauma. You was just throwing in the trauma. because I don't know
Yeah,
what the
just
hell I signed up for. So let's make it like super interesting. So double the trauma and all that. So
yeah. I definitely
Mhm.
haven't read the fine print in most of the contracts that I've signed in
Good
the
luck.
spiritual world. But here's what I'm saying. So you're right. I will validate one of the points that you just made. Nobody can awaken you. As much as we're going to share, we're hoping that it helps you remember and that it helps you to start to question things. And that's where it really starts. Because awakening starts when you start to ask yourself, like, what am I here for? I think we all have those kind of moments in life where it's like, there's got to be more to life than
That's been
just
coming up a lot lately.
exactly the 9 to 5. There's all different reasons why people might stop and be like, what am I here for? Or what is it that I really desire? Because maybe you're sitting on everything that you've built from working really hard in life and being a hustler. I've lived my life like that, but I can tell you that until my spiritual
Yeah.
awakening, it was completely unfulfilled. It didn't matter how many things I checked off my list. Essentially, if you start questioning, if you're here with us listening to any of this, maybe this is your time. Maybe this is your sign. It's a small curiosity that happens when your spirit is starting to be ready, and it's a call to remember. So if that's happening for you, start to press into that. Be
Listen to
curious
those
about that.
intuition. Yep. Those gut feelings, those all of that. Like,
Yep.
why do I feel like I should be at this place or that place, or I'm starting to feel like this family member or whatever I've known for forever. All of a sudden I just feel something dark about this. Like I need to go away from it. Go away from it. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not
right.
wrong.
That's right.
Always trust your gut.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. But most of us don't because we're not taught to do that. We're not taught to do that from a young age. I mean, it's like something now that I'm realizing, even with my own daughter, that I'm starting to
Mhm.
talk to her about those things because I don't want her to wake up someday and she's in her young adulthood and she's starting to learn this stuff. I want her to start to understand that now so
Yeah.
that she starts to understanding,
Yeah, this is
of the
good.
spirit person that's inside of her and what her purpose is. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing this kind of perspective. Maybe this is the 100th time you've heard it.
Mhm.
And no matter what it is, it's that it's reaching you for a reason. And whenever it reaches you, it's meant for you. You may not see this when it drops. You may see this a year after it drops. You may see it 3 months, 2 weeks, whatever. It reaches you when you're ready. When this started to happen to me, my immediate response was to engage with the source that I identified with. And in that case, for me, it's God. And it was really me saying, what am I here for? Help me to remember who you've made me to be. And why am I here? What is my purpose? Why am I feeling all of these things all of a sudden? What is this? And
Bro, I
um,
didn't engage with anything to begin with. I just started seeing the numbers. Like that
yep.
was it for me. Like all of a sudden, every time I looked up, it is 111, it is 1111, 222. And I used to actually sit around and be like, so look at that, all the numbers, all the woo woo.
333 today.
Oh.
Yep. It's yeah, we at
Listen.
333 what did all of this. And that was the problem was then you like go down that internet hole and you're trying to understand like, oh, what is this number? Oh, it means power. It means and you're like, yeah, I'm powerful. No, bro, it means hold your power because something's coming in. And until you get this lesson, you're gonna spin that goddamn block like 487 times. And you're like, but it said
Yeah.
333. Like, no. Like,
Yes.
no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's
So,
it's
yeah,
so
so that, I
good.
mean, it's a
So
really good
yeah.
point.
My favorite is 420.
420. Yep, that too.
Those are my numbers.
It
We're
was
back.
totally frozen for us for a hot
Yeah.
minute. Our bad, because it really does not want us to talk about things
It
because
doesn't.
we don't have any of these problems until now. Perfect.
Yeah. If you don't think that energy is real and that there is a spirituality beyond ourselves, that's part of the illusion because it is very much alive and well. And when you try to do something where you stand up and you speak a truth or you go against these systems, you watch how much adversity happens with your technology,
100%.
with your timing, with your
Mhm.
connections with things. It's incredible. So, but anyways, we
Mhm.
press on, through that. The other thing that I'll mention beyond signs and synchronicities is that for me, it started small when I was starting to feel all of these things. Again, I was triggered into all of this, and we'll talk about that at a later time. Like, I think we'll each kind of share at some point how we started our spiritual awakenings. But so I was triggered into, mine, and I,
And then came
I,
and grabbed me. You couldn't just leave me alone. No,
yep,
you were like,
no, and I
hey.
did. And you
Mhm.
know what? And that's
Mhm.
important. Okay, so that's a really important point. You don't want to feel alone. I was really grateful that you were there and that you were sharing a similar experience and path because I felt crazy. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I felt
Uh,
crazy with some of the
uh,
stuff that was happening for me. And
what? I did alone. What? I was
I know,
cool
sorry
being
about that.
asleep.
I was just a little bit
I
later
was
than you.
really, really cool being asleep. And that's the thing.
Yeah,
Like, I would try to tell people, like, I don't understand why this or why that. At that time, I had no idea. I had no idea.
right.
Again, spin the block 487 times.
Yep.
And then when you start doing the alignment, you figure it out and you're like, I was like, cool, I figured it out. Now I'm going to go back to sleep. And then here you come. Knock, knock, knock. You want to
Yeah.
sleep? Let's go.
It can feel overwhelming. And so that was one of the things that, that I started to manifest, bringing my soul family into alignment with me so that I don't feel like I'm, a lone wolf, in this.
Pass.
Exactly. Because you can't just speak to people about this stuff. They think you're
No.
crazy. And here we are doing a podcast about it, right? So God
Cool.
bless us. But
I think
this is
everybody has some type of though. I think everybody has some type of spiritual awakening at some point, whether it's small or
Yeah, most people just don't lean all
you
the
just
way
don't
into
lean
it.
all the way into it like
Exactly.
some people.
Yeah, you're just like, "Oh,
correct.
yeah, well, I kind of know a little bit, but what
Exactly.
are you doing?
I said
I'm not even
Wendy.
sure. Are you looking at me because I'm leaning all the
Yep,
way
I
into
was
it?
like,
Is that what was that? Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
So I
Listen,
can't help that.
I lean with it,
Apparently,
rock with it. I was lean with it, rock with it, and then I was like, ooh, I'm gonna just exit stage left because I'm cool. I know we live in the Matrix. I know what this is now. Like, I'm cool, just waiting for, my mission to be complete so I can like return to source. I'm good with that. And I didn't need I can love myself and not need anybody to validate me or none of that. I was cool with it. But again, here you come with the bullshiz and saying like, nah, your mission here ain't done. So that was shitty, but
it's not.
here we are.
I mean, listen, if you would have asked me a year ago or 6 months ago that this is the journey that I would be on, I would have thought you were crazy. I was not content in myself. I definitely knew that, but I just figured like, hey, that's just the way the world works and that's just the way it is. And then, here I am going down this path and it is overwhelming at times. And I never thought I'd be the one that was going to be leaning all the way as you guys are staring at me, but
Huh?
it's part of my calling. It's part of what I feel that I'm
Thank God
here
we're
to
part of her
do.
calling. Thank God. Here
You're
we
going to
are.
be
Here we
roped
are for
into
that. That's all
my
right. I
soul family,
mean,
whether you like it or not.
I've literally been the black sheep the entire life. Like, you know this. Bitch, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, I don't need your validation, especially in this matrix. Like, nope, I'm good. I'm here to complete my
Well,
mission and
my intuition is starting to heighten. Some people call it psychic, some people call it prophetic, because I can see things. One of the things that I was shown was like, hey, this is not your first rodeo. Like, you've done this in other lifetimes, not successfully, unfortunately, where we were, and this is for both of you too, herald as witches, because you were women who rebelled against the systems and stood up for truths they were not
the
ready
societal
to hear.
norms.
Right, and all you were
nothing
trying to
normal here.
do
Right.
was all you were trying to do is bring truth and healing to people, right? And that's all that I've, ever tried to do in prior lifetimes and now. So it's interesting to wake up and remember this is part of who I am. And the more you lean into it, the more they show you "You've already come equipped for this. Like you've got the tools. It's just me understanding it again and awakening to it." But okay, the last thing that I'll say, if you want to start to listen into your heart space, the best way to do that is to start to do meditation. So, and the reason why that's important is that meditation is something that helps you quiet your mind and open your heart to listen. Start with a guided meditation. Start with 5 minutes a day. If nothing else, it's going to start to quiet your mind, anxieties, all the things that rush through. Like I've never had a quiet mind in my entire life. So it took me a minute to understand and embrace meditation, but boy, I'm really glad I have, because that has started to really unlock my heart space and help me to remember and listen. So that's what I'll leave you with. Why don't you take us into G, what gutter monkey energy is, and explain it?
All right. I mean, the best explanation I can have, it's something that I kind of like made up. Y'all know those little like finger monkeys? You've seen them. Like they're so
I got
freaking
many
cute.
hands.
No, my God, that's a cute little monkey that is so harmless and so cute, and you just want to keep it. And so you put it up on your shoulder, and it brings you joy at first, and it comes out and plays with you, and it's sitting up there, and one day you look back and you're like, dang. There's a whole party back there. He invited like 6 more friends. And you're like, all right, well, it's cool. I can still carry that. I mean, that's all right. But now they don't want to come down and play no more. They're just sitting there. And you're like, man, they don't ever get off. Like, I don't understand. Like, what are they eating? Like, how are they?
It's awesome.
But now you're feeling drained, right? You're
Yep.
feeling drained. And you realize, man, I think they're eating me. But at that point, you would say, oh my God, I got to get this off me. But there's something, it's societal, like society says you can't because that is, your child's father, or that is your family. They drag you down and you're literally in the gutter. And the only thing you can see around you is shit. Like you can't see nothing but shit. And there's nobody to blame but yourself, because you allowed that.
True.
You allowed those
Yep.
monkeys to be on your back and drag you right on down.
Yep.
And now, what do? What do? You sit around and you look at the shit that's created from allowing this energy to attach to you and drain you of literally everything and bring you right down into the gutter. So,
It's true.
congratulations. That's what gutter monkey energy is.
Yep.
It's not good.
So
Yeah.
so what
Yeah,
I will
not
say, so
good.
a lot of people would
Yep.
refer to this as like low vibe, like low vibrational
yeah.
energy. We call it gutter
It's the
monkey
ones
energy.
it's the ones that are charismatic, that are so cute. There's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with so and so.
Charming.
My God. Yes. Yep. They're a good person. They helped out one time way back when. Okay, let me tell you why they're helping out. They're not helping out because their heart calls for it. They're helping out because they feel like if I help out here, I'm going to be forgiven for the bullshit I'm doing back here. Like, that's
Yeah.
why I'm going to help out. It is that
it's
energy that
always-
just sucks the
Oh, yeah.
everything out of you.
Energy vampires. It's
Yeah.
low vibrational.
Yeah.
Gutter monkey energy never presents like a gutter monkey. It usually is
Mm-mm.
beautiful and charming and
Mhm.
maybe
100%.
sensual or whatever. And it
Mhm.
comes in and it promises you the world and you fall for that bullshit.
Wait a minute. If they have to explain what it is, if they are sitting here telling you like, oh, I love you, I this or that, they got to explain it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not it.
It's
Because
true.
if you're listening to words, that makes you ignore what you're actually feeling. So
And
if
the
there has got to be
signs.
words said,
Yup.
yeah, you're going to get smacked in
Listen.
the head with 444 about 782 times. Universe going to have you keep spinning that block until you realize that motherfucker got to go. Period.
Yeah, but the problem is that now you're in too deep, right? Because what happens is instead of trusting your intuition, because these things will present to you and you'll always have a gut feel. You'll see the red flags and you'll have that gut feel in your
Don't think it's a
intuition.
circus.
But But
Mm-mm.
you have to be disciplined about what you entertain, because once you let that in and it's on your back, then guess what? Like you're saying,
And
now you've got karma. Now you've got
now you got their karmic debt. Listen, they're helping you out because
yep.
you know what that is? They're trading their karmic debt. They're like, I ain't gotta spin the block on this evil shit I just did over here. I'm gonna give you something good. And you accepting it, you're like, oh my God, they got me something so shiny and nice, and oh my God, they're such a great person. Nah, bitch, I just that release of your karmic debt, and I just took it on because I thought, oh, they were being so nice. No, they ain't. They
Uh-huh.
ain't being
Yeah.
nice.
And see, that's what
Ugh.
happens. Yeah, and that's what happens. So, you have to be
Now our camera's like messing up. It's like, look at everything's the whole room spinning, talking about gutter monkey energy. Oh my God. I can't make this shit
listen,
up.
the gutter monkeys don't want to be found out. They
Oh
listen,
my God. You
they
know,
don't.
people are going to listen. You know what? On God, the ones that are going to listen to this the hardest are the gutter monkeys because they're sitting there going, they're going to say something about me. Bitch, I don't care
Exactly.
about you. Like, at all, ever, period. I'm going to use you as an example. Not, obviously,
Right.
I'm not saying names of nothing. No. But listen, you're listening because you know you are a gutter monkey. Like, cool. I
I
won't say
love
gut. I
that.
will say you carry that energy. So go ahead and carry that energy over there, out the way, out my face. I don't care. Like, just do
Yeah.
that over there.
And you know what's funny is that you're right. Like goater monkeys will do the most. To those of us that are high vibrational, we don't give a shit. We really don't.
You
We
know,
don't care.
100%.
We really don't
100%.
care, because
Who you
here's the
clowning?
thing. Well, so you can't anymore. So once you
Nope.
reach this high vibrational energy and you are tuned into your intuition, it is a bullshit meter. You can see that stuff coming from 100 miles away. Am I right? You can
Yep.
see that stuff arriving on your doorstep, and you
It
listen,
literally can't even
like
enter your energy anymore.
it can't. Like, well, because
It really
you
can't.
have learned that you deserve better, right? So that was part
Yeah,
of
you know your
my
worth.
ascension, is like you understand your worth and you understand. And when you're tapped into your intuition, listen, you can't roll up on my doorstep anymore and hit me with some nonsense, because I'm going to see right through it. And so you only then can vibe with people who are authentic, they are vulnerable, they come honest, because your energy and your spirit person now is like highly protective of you, and it'll show you. So it's like once you start to tap into that intuition, I'm like, thank God. Thank God I have learned so many karmic lessons in my life. I have had to pay karmic debt for my ancestors. I am done. Like, I am done. I am done doing that. So, it starts to hold
Me
ground. And
too.
so,
Bro,
so
again,
like,
was, hiding, hermit mode. Like, I had my hidey hole. I was
yeah.
cool in my hidey hole. Like, but I guess, all right, that's not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I guess. I don't know.
No,
But
because the thing is like if you are awakened and you have gifts and you understand and you're starting to roll in this energy, do you think that the universe is just going to keep you locked up somewhere and be like, "Oh, hey, spiritually awakened person who could do such good in the world, let's go set you over there to just wait until you go back to source." Nah, it's
Right.
not going to
that'd be
happen
great.
like that. It's going to be
Stop
like, "Yo,
hating, girl. Don't
it's
say
gonna
nah.
roll. It's gonna roll up on your block and be like, listen, bitch, get in. We got some stuff to do." Here's the simplicity of it. Everybody has intuition. Trust your intuition. This stuff never shows up to you. These people and these energies never show up to you in a place where you'd be like, "Oh, no, thanks." No, they don't. They show up charming. Your biggest defense is your intuition. Don't let that shit in, because you're gonna have a whole lot of lessons to learn. So do yourself a favor. But last thing, like, so manifesting, when you understand that you embody all of the things that you need inside of you, this inner knowing and this inner power of the kingdom within, then you realize like you have the ability to create your reality. You have the ability to speak positivity into your life. Instead of saying nothing ever works out for me, you start to say everything's always working out for me. Everything always works out for me. And when you start put positivity back into your life, into the universe, it honors it. It's really important about how you speak about things over your life and what you say, because if you tell the universe and source, I'm destitute, nothing ever works for me, they're gonna be like, okay, they're gonna match that. They'll be like, well, nothing's ever working out for them. So let's send them a bunch of lack. So I'll pick on you a little bit, G. But I remember for a long time, you would always say, I have a dark cloud over me. This dark cloud follows me everywhere. And guess what? It did, because you just kept saying it over and over and over again. It's really important that you change the way that you speak and start manifesting and believing that things are really happening for you. You're calling things into your life. Start to speak about the things that you're wanting and hoping and desiring in your life, and things will start to change, because that's the way that the universe is set up.
Me.
The very final segment of this is called when you align, you shine. And so we're going to give that over to Tali to talk about what that means and what she's got for us. Tali.
Intentional about. Focus on things like the next week. When you feel down or hopeless, stressed, overwhelmed, pull out this list and you go on something that aligns with your happiness. Because when you align, you shine.
Perfect. So what would you put on this list, Tali, if
I
you
would
were
probably
creating this
put
for
things
yourself?
like if you are struggling with something, try manifesting, I hope tomorrow is a better day for me, or anything that is positive and going to bring some sort of goodness to your heart. Whatever you feel that day, you write about or say.
Yep. Daily affirmations, like things that make you feel, aligned and happy, but also like just everyday things too. Like
Yep.
maybe it's, you know, going for a walk in nature, like, or, going to get,
It's all you.
like for me, it's pumpkin spice latte season,
No,
right?
God,
So it's
no.
like,
Girl,
rolling through
that's
I
Starbucks
like
to
a
grab
brown
one of those.
sugar
But you don't like
shaken
pumpkin spice
espresso.
lattes?
That's what I
There you
like.
go. There you go. See, that's
God.
why I'm with her.
Something wrong with
Not
you.
she did. I was thinking a glow up was literally the physical meat suit that you had to like go and kill yourself at the gym for 2 hours for. Like, listen, bro, if this is all you see, this meat suit, you don't see me. You don't see me. And until you'll know your soul tribe when you start being able to see you beyond this, beyond it. Because so when you are manifesting, don't listen. I mean, it's cool if you want like,
Correct.
a six pack and whatnot, but you're aligning with something a little bit different, because if you're aligning with a six pack, you're probably going to get all of the six packs after you, and whatnot. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you mean. Like, so, so glow ups
Yes.
it's important
No,
to take care of
absolutely.
yourself. You're not saying don't work on yourself, don't take care of yourself, but it's not the end all be all. The external is not everything. And actually, I know a lot of
good monkey energy.
externally
Oh
Beautiful.
my
beautiful
God.
people who are absolutely terrible.
No.
Like their insides.
That's more than
Deepest, darkest,
Correct.
gross.
Correct. And when you have that glow up from the inside, and that's a real thing. And actually, the more that you do tap into your inner spiritual
physical.
person, the more it starts to manifest and change your external. It's bizarre. It's amazing how that brings everything into alignment. But it is important, like you're saying, Tully, to be intentional about those
you're not-
things.
if you're taking
You
care
need
of
to
yourself,
pour back into yourself, and that's
how are you
essentially
going to teach
what
other
that list
people
is.
to do the same? You know what I mean? Back up what you're saying. Be intentional.
If I'm watching you and your life is shit and you're not loving yourself, you're not taking care of yourself, then why am I listening to you about anything? I'm not going to
Sure.
follow you if and advice that you're giving me. If you're telling me something, then I don't care what your words are saying. I need to see it in your actions. When I see it in your actions and how you're living and how you're treating others and yourself, then I get your vibe, right? Then we're on the same wavelength. Anyways, but yeah, really important. And it's something that's tangible that you can do. So wrap that up. It's like the three main things. If you're curious and you start to have that kind of inner curiosity, press into it a little bit. Maybe look into meditations. Manifesting is nothing more than just starting to change the narrative about how you speak about things. in your life. So change the narrative. Remember the things that you're saying over yourself, they do make an impact out in the universe. And the final thing is be intentional about, a glow up list. So have a list of things that allow you to pour back into yourself in some way. Thanks for joining us. The divine in us honors the divine in you. So keep manifesting, keep rising, keep being curious to unlock that inner truth. And we're 3Bs on a
Oh.
mission, and this is just the beginning.